The reason high performers are fast and right isn't that they have better intuition. It's that they never make the same decision twice. We'll show you the 3-step systematic framework that allows anyone to make the right choice in minutes, not hours.
You know, we have this idea that great decision makers just have a special gut feeling. But the reality, it's way more systematic. High quality, high-speed decision-making isn't some kind of art. It's really an engineering problem. It's all about building a system of elimination, so you stop wasting mental energy on problems you've already solved. The goal isn't to get better at juggling choices. It's to design a system where most of them never even get to you.
So here's our game plan. First, we'll unpack the high-performance paradox. Then we'll identify the enemy, decision fatigue. After that, we dive into the decision stack protocol itself, cover exactly why it works, and then give you a concrete plan to put it into action before we finish up with the final crucial lesson. Okay, Section 1, the high-performance paradox. And it's a really simple but powerful idea. If you want to improve your most important decisions, you have to start by radically cutting down the total number of decisions you make every single day. Imagine your brain's capacity for high-quality thinking is like a bank account. Every single choice is a withdrawal. What should I wear? That's $5. What am I going to eat? There goes another 5. The modern world just bombards us with these tiny withdrawals. High performers, they use systems and routines to put 90% of these choices on autopilot. Why? To protect their mental bank account for the few decisions that actually matter. All right, Section 2. Our enemy actually has a name. And this isn't about lacking motivation. It's a documented cognitive impairment, and it's called decision fatigue. And to make this feel real, just think about your own day for a second. When do you feel like you can really tackle a complex strategic problem? When do you get your most creative ideas? For pretty much everyone, the answer is in the morning, right? Not long after you wake up. And there's a very clear neurochemical reason for this, and understanding it is the absolute key to unlocking high performance all day long. So this is the formal definition. But decision fatigue is not a metaphor, it is a genuine state of mental exhaustion. The more choices you make, the worse the quality of the next choice gets. Your brain, in an effort to save energy, starts taking shortcuts. So it'll either make reckless, impulsive choices, or it'll take the easiest path of all, making no choice at all. In other words, procrastination. Both of those are just terrible outcomes, and they are the direct result of being overloaded.
Now, the science behind this is a theory called ego depletion, and it basically reframes willpower not as some kind of moral virtue, but as a finite resource, kind of like a muscle. Yeah, it can be strengthened over time, but it can also be totally exhausted. Every act of self-control, every decision you make, it's a little withdrawal from this limited pool of energy that's stored in your prefrontal cortex.
And this chart, wow, it just shows you the catastrophic effect this has on your day. You start at 9 a.m. with a full battery, right? 100%. But then all those little trivial choices start their attack. By 1 p.m., after hundreds of those tiny decisions, your cognitive capacity is already down to 60%. And then at 4 p.m., when a truly high-stakes, maybe career-defining decision lands on your desk, you're forced to deal with it with a brain that's running at 30%. You are literally making your most important choices with your most depleted mind. It is a recipe for disaster. Okay, Section 3, the decision stack. So if the problem is a poorly managed resource, the solution has to be a smarter system for managing it. This is how we build a fortress around your focus. The protocol is a 3-layer filter. Think of it like a funnel. At the very top, you have Layer 1, Automate. Its only job is to catch and eliminate that 90% of trivial recurring stuff. Anything that gets through that first filter then hits Layer 2, Filter, which is a rapid check against your core values. And only the absolute most crucial, high-leverage decisions, the top 1%, make it to the final layer, Layer 3, Time Box, where we force execution with a strict constraint. Now, Level 1 is the most important part of this whole system. Its only purpose is to act as a bodyguard for your prefrontal cortex. The goal here isn't to make better routine decisions, it's to get to a point where you never have to make them at all. And we do this by creating what are called decision rules. And you've seen this in action with some of the world's most effective people. I mean, think about Steve Jobs or Mark Zuckerberg in their famous uniforms. They didn't wear the same thing every day because they lacked fashion sense. They did it to kill one recurring, zero-value decision from their morning. That is the mindset. You just create a simple rule and you follow it. I wear one of these 5 outfits. I eat the same breakfast every weekday. I only check email at 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. Every rule you create is one less withdrawal from that mental bank account. So what about the decisions that aren't routine but aren't massive either?
You know, the invitations, the new project ideas, all the opportunities that pop up. These can't be automated, but man, they can still drain a ton of energy. For these, we use level 2, the core values filter.
This layer is basically just a rapid test for alignment. You predefine, say, 1 to 3 core values that are non-negotiable for you. When a new opportunity comes up, you don't make a big pros and cons list, you just ask one simple question. Does this move me closer to my core values? If it aligns, boom, it's an instant yes. If it conflicts, it's an instant no, a veto. This stops you from wasting energy on paths that are just going to lead to regret later.
And that brings us to the very top of the stack, the final gatekeeper. Level 3 is only for the few, truly high-leverage decisions that made it through the first 2 filters. These are the choices with huge consequences. You know, should we buy this company, or should I take this promotion? For these, the real danger isn't making the wrong choice, it's getting stuck in endless analysis, what we call analysis paralysis.
The tool for level 3 is the 80-20 time box. It's got 2 parts. First, the time box. You set a strict artificial deadline, let's say 1 hour. Second, the 80-20 focus. You spend 80% of that time focused only on the 20% of information that's going to have the biggest impact. You find the 2 or 3 most critical variables and ignore everything else. That last 20% of your time is for one thing, making the call and committing to it. This forces you to focus on signal over noise and action over analysis.
All right, section 4, why this actually works. Now that we know the what and the how, let's dig into the why, the 3 psychological mechanisms that make this whole protocol so darn effective.
First up, level 1, automation. It basically acts as a defense system. By getting rid of all those trivial choices, you stop that constant drain on your prefrontal cortex. This conserves your willpower and focus, and it makes sure you show up to important decisions with a fully charged mind.
Now, the second mechanism, this one's a little deeper. The level 2 core values filter works because it taps into one of the most powerful forces in our psychology, the need to be consistent with ourselves. Our brains are literally wired to reduce what's called cognitive dissonance, that mental stress we feel when our actions don't line up with our beliefs. By filtering choices through your identity, a yes decision feels easy. It feels right. It's not just a good option, it's an expression of who you are. This creates a ton of conviction and just launches you into action.
And third, the level 3 time box acts as a pattern interrupt. It's specifically designed to short-circuit our brain's tendency to get stuck in that anxious loop of overanalysis. The hard deadline and the 80-20 focus just break that cycle, forcing you to switch from endless information gathering to decisive action. It really embraces the idea that good enough and done is way better than perfect but delayed.
Section 5, the implementation plan. Okay, let's get out of theory and into action with a super clear 3-step plan to build your very own decision stack.
The plan is so simple. Build level 1 by automating your routines, build level 2 by defining your core values, and then execute level 3 by applying that 80-20 drill. Let's get tactical.
Step 1, build level 1. Okay, your assignment for tonight is to identify 5, just 5 recurring, low-stakes decisions you make every day or every week. Write them down. Then, create a simple, one-sentence rule to automate each one. This is your first real step to taking back your mental energy.
Step 2, build level 2. Now, this one takes a few minutes of quiet reflection, but I promise you, it will pay you back for years. Define your 3 non-negotiable core values. What are the principles that, above everything else, define who you want to be? Write them on a sticky note. Stick it on your monitor. From now on, every medium-stakes opportunity gets run through this filter. Is it a yes or is it a veto?
Step 3, execute level 3. The very next time you face a big decision, I want you to run a drill. Set a strict time limit. Let's just use 60 minutes as an example. Set a timer. You have 1 hour to make the call. For the first 48 minutes, you're only allowed to look for the 2 or 3 highest impact data points. And for those final 12 minutes, you weigh that critical data and you make the call. You execute the protocol.
And now, section 6, the final lesson. After all of this, if you remember only one thing, please make it this. True decision mastery isn't about addition, more info, more analysis, more options. No, it's about a ruthless, disciplined, strategic process of subtraction. It's about eliminating everything that doesn't matter so you can apply the full force of your mind to the very few things that actually do.
So let's bring it all home. The Decision Stack protocol, at its core, solves the problem of decision fatigue and low-quality output. And why this matters is because it gives you a systematic way to conserve your executive function for the choices that will actually move the needle. The automation and core values framework directly prevents that ego depletion we talked about, and it accelerates self-consistent decision-making. So your challenge is simple. Automate 5 decisions. Start tomorrow. Because true productivity isn't about doing more, it's about mastering systems that make focus effortless.